Well, morning, guys. Little Sunday morning coffee and chainsaw maintenance. Got a big week coming up, so no rest for the weary. It's Sunday, and here we are. Figured I'd take you guys along for the ride if you want to watch. This isn't going to be a great video for everybody, but if you're into chainsaws and stuff like that, it's going to be kind of cool. I've got my favorite saw, my 272 Husqvarna. My mufflers come loose. I've got some bolts backed out. I got to grind the bar, just a whole bunch of little things here. So I'm going to try and whip through it. Hopefully, you guys will have a view. And if there's anything that I have going on that's weird, I'll try to explain it, but shouldn't be. It's pretty much basic stuff. One thing that I do try to do is work smarter, not harder. So I've already blown the saw off. I don't do that enough, guys. Should do it more. I used to blow the saw off every single time that the end of every day when I used them, and I don't do that enough anymore. I really need to get better at that. Blowing most of it off here so that you guys don't have to listen to the compressor run. But I do try to get all my tools laid out, especially if I'm going to do a video. Look at how much crap's caked in there. That's embarrassing. Try to get all my tools laid out so that I can go at this kind of fast. This bar here is actually steel mount bar. Come on, find your way off there. And I have an adapter in it. I don't know if any of you guys run adapters on your bars, but once upon a time when I was running a lot of DO25 steel mounts, I had just decided that I'll get everything in DO25 and I can cross over from my big saws to my small saws. This is what one of those little adapters looks like. You can get them through like Madson's and Bailey's, and you just want the Husqvarna to steel mount. It's a D009 Husqvarna mount to a DO25 steel mount. You can put a steel mount bar on a Husqvarna, but you can't go the other way. So it's easier to buy all DO25s and then use the adapter so that I can throw that on a 660 or a 461 or a 372, anything. That bar will go on everything. So as long as I buy all those bars, I never have a problem swapping back and forth. But one of the problems is that I get a lot of bars in from customers and stuff. They'll just give them to me, and then I'll grind them up and fix them, and then I've got bars hanging all over inside the shop, and in that case, then it doesn't work. But for bars that I buy, it works. I'm real quick just going to blow the crap out of here, so I'm going to apologize if I have any compressor noise for a second. Here, I am going to show you something interesting. I'll guarantee you. So this jug on this saw has been ported. And I will guarantee you that when I run Red Armor, and this saw's got miles and miles and miles on it. I'll guarantee you when I pull this muffler off and I show you inside this saw how clean it's going to be. Now let's pull the cover off. Got to get at, oh, there we go. Sometimes my little Milwaukee field kits here have just about a little bit of everything in them. I can reach, yeah. So it's kind of nice just to grab one of the kits and Now I will say this: when I snug stuff back down, I won't just zip these in with the impact gun, or you'll strip them out. But to get it apart, it's definitely faster, especially on flatheads. I am going to just leave that on till later so we don't get any shit inside the saw. We'll pull this muffler off. Then I'll show you inside the saw. I'll guarantee you it's nice and clean. Also, from a few years ago, there's some scoring in the cylinder. There's some scoring on this piston on the front side. Guarantee, and it runs absolutely perfect. And usually, when you see scoring in a cylinder, like you might even see on this one, people say, "Oh, you know, it's roached. It needs to be rebuilt." This all runs perfectly fine with the scoring that's inside this. See if I can find a hex head in here that goes in that. That one looks a little big. This I may or may not. Oh, there we go. I can tell which one it is here. That's it, right? Yep. It has been cold, but today's actually one of the warmest days we've had in a while. It's supposed to be 40 today. Oh, I took out the wrong one. Dummy. She found her way home nice and easy. I'm not going to tighten that one all the way down. Just going to get the top one out here. Get the bracket off. This is actually a case bolt, so you be careful with these. And I think, oh yeah, she was loose. Oh, don't lose those. She was loose. These two hex heads that go in here are kind of a pain to get started. So basically all we're going to do here is we got the gasket. We're going to just blow this out quick and put some blue Loctite on those, get those back in there. See if I can show you. Oh. This actually got a little bit of crap inside this inside the exhaust port, just from me blowing with this blowing the saw off with this muffler like this. I want to show you the scoring on this piston. I don't know if I'll be able to get the light right. Maybe if I flip you guys around, I think because it's kind of important. I think. Let's put the saw down so I can get the light right. So can you see? Yeah, I think so. You can see that. You can see some if I just kind of ease it through its rotation. You see the scoring on that piston, and this saw runs perfect. Starts good, runs good. It just looks like debris, like just running it dirty. It didn't get hot. It could get a little hot when it's running without a gasket like that. A little bit. They do get a little hot. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the piston up to where the piston's covering the exhaust port and just blow that out just a little bit. There's just some debris in here from when I blew this off. It went inside. I'm just going to get my piston up past it so it seals that off. I'm just going to blow that out. I'm going to get my thumb over the top of this thing and blow out what's left here. Just old bar and chain oil and crud and everything else. Perfect. That compressor will settle down in a second, and let's get something to start these two bolts. The problem is whatever you use has to be able to go inside that hole. So that'll work. Let's get the appropriate size hex head on it. Hopefully have one in here. Bingo! Bingo! So I think the best way to do this is to flip this jug over upside down, or on it, basically on its side. Get these sticking through the hole. You want to, oh, that wasn't good. Oh, that's going to be a problem, isn't it? Oh, there we go. I'm going to have to get, because that's not going to stay in there. I need to get a regular Allen. Hold on one sec. Just grab a regular Allen out of here so that I don't have to deal with that thing popping off there and then not being able to get it out. Yep. So we get these things stuck through, and we're going to get the gasket stuck on it. Sometimes these don't like to find their way through that hole really easily, so it's best just to get them stuck in there now so you're not fumbling around on the saw. So you want them both sticking out. Just going to clean off my gasket just a little bit here. We will get this gasket stuck on these two studs, and then we're going to throw some blue Loctite on them. And we'll very carefully get them started. And this gasket's all port matched. The muffler's port matched perfectly too, by the way. Get some blue Loctite on that, and then we will get this thing started in the holes. Where's my blue Loctite? Right here. Now you can toss them in the holes. Sometimes that works. Sometimes it'll just leak out. I just throw a dab in there. I gotta just hit that with some air really quick right there. And put a dab on each one of these. Then we're going to very, very carefully get these two bolts started. You know, I think they're actually machine screws. I don't think they're actually bolts. Okay, that one's started. Once we get them both started, so we know they're not going to pull out, we can just go ahead and tighten them down. Always kind of helps to have everything you need lying around. Kind of want to seat it evenly. Sometimes on these on some of these mufflers, they don't like to seat flat. So you want to get them both kind of seated evenly. Kind of sneak up on it. Now, I would love to be able to leave this thing loose and then put the bracket on. But I don't think you might be able to do it. Might be able to do it with this. So let's do that. Let's just not tighten them all the way down. Let's get these all back on. See if I can get in there through that hole. Yep. Yeah, it looks like it'll work. Now, it doesn't make any sense to put any Loctite on this bolt because it goes into the bar oil case. Just gonna get that nice and the same thing on this one. Doesn't make any sense unless you're going to clean the whole thing out to put Loctite on them. It's just not going to cure. Just want to get this one started. These two, however, you can put Loctite on these. And then once we get them all started, then we'll just go and gronk on them. And like I said, sometimes it makes sense to kind of leave everything loose so that these holes will line up. Now, in a saw that's kind of this old, you pretty much been through the trials and tribulations with it, and I think usually the holes will line up. Actually, I got one there that's not liking where it is. Let's get this one in here first. This hole's a little bit not lined up. Just keep that on there loose. Lock that on this one. Hopefully she'll stay together for a while. One of the problems is working in the cold like this, you know, you're going from ice cold to red hot and back and forth, and it's going through massive heat cycles. Oh, this one's not going to want to go in there. Come on. Go. It's going through massive heat cycles. And that is something that saws overall don't like. I'm just going to run these two in, not super tight yet. And then just gronk down on the muffler. And I might need, can I get that on there? Yeah, maybe. Something to add a little leverage here. I don't want to break them, but I want them to be tight. Good thing is I won't be running this saw today, so that Loctite will have a chance to cure. Tight's tight, too tight's broken. Okay. Get the top back on the Loctite before I dump it all on the tailgate. Ask me how I know. Get these all kind of snugged up. And then we'll hit a couple of ka-chunkas on them, and that will be good to go. She'll be back 100%. Even with that scoring, guys, it's pretty amazing, actually. And that's the problem right there, boys and girls. That one just stripped. Damn it. Sons of a gun. And now it's going to have to be drilled and tapped out for a bigger screw. Gosh bless it. I deserve everything I get doing that. Damn. Gosh darn it. Oh, son of a gun. Oh, I deserve everything I get. I deserve that. Believe me, I didn't go hard down on that. Got a couple of bolts over here, screws over here that are loose. Let's make sure these are tight. Oh, that stinks. Damn it. That's going to leak bar oil too. Well, that's going to have to be fixed another day because we are not there right now. All right. I'm going to blow out the air filter really quick and then let's grind that bar. Get my gloves back on here. It's still cold out. It's supposed to be 40 today and it ain't 40 right now. Well, actually, that filter's pretty clean. Yeah, doesn't have anything in it, really. I love these filters that come on these old 268s, 272s, 66s. Yeah, in this configuration right here, these filters are awesome. Just blow them out, never have to worry about them. If you're ever working around a top end like this, if you're not going to put your thumb over this, pull the choke. Kind of block that passage off. I like to just stick my thumb over it. Damn near caused more problem than I started with here. That screw stripping out. Can't say that it wouldn't have done it if I did it by hand either. It must have been damaged. Because I did not put very much on it with this, but you can argue back and forth all you want about whether you should use an impact gun on stuff like this. All right, let's grind this bar. I am going to have to blow it off real quick, so it's just going to make a little noise. I'm going to pause you guys while I do it so you don't have to listen to the compressor because I got to get all the crap off it, and then we'll take it over to the grinder. I'll get you a different view. We'll grind it. All right, if you've never watched one of my bar dressing, fixing videos, if you don't have a belt sander or a grinder that you can do it on it, or you're nervous about doing that, what you want to do is get yourself a block of hardwood like this. Cut 2 slots in it on the table saw that file will fit in nice and tight like that. You snap this thing in a vise, and you can use this block of wood to register on the side, and you can hand in a vise is really the best way to do it, but you can hand file these rails nice and square and get them back to brand new perfect with just a block of wood. I cut 2 slots in them for 2 different size files because doing this will wear a file out pretty quick. However, I'm going to do it on the grinder or on the belt sander. And if you're willing to take this leap and you're not really sure about what you're doing and you're worried about getting them, not square and everything, which you can do, so you can go ahead and take a Sharpie and just kind of paint the rails to make sure you're hitting both sides evenly. Check your progress as you go. This one's still got a little bit of bar oil on it, but this particular Sharpie I just grabbed, I don't know how great it is. You could also check them with a square, make sure they're square. These rails are perfectly square right now. If you're worried about it, what I like to do is when I grind them, you can tell when you look down the bar, you can tell whether you're skewed to one side or the other. So I try to keep the bar perfectly lined up so that you can see straight down the sides and you can't see any of this or this. And it only takes a second. I'm going to do both rails and take the burr off the side. It's going to make a little bit of noise. Make sure I got nothing sitting on here that's going to go wing. All I do is hold it straight like this. I'm looking down. I can't see the sides of it, so I know I'm square. You want to pull out just before you hit the tip, obviously. Pretty much all the red's gone, so I'm pretty good there. And do the other side. And look at my rails and make sure that they're all nice and brandy new and cleaned up all the way up. No nicks or dings in them or anything. You can eyeball down these and see square. You can look down them and see if you got a high side. But like I said, if you question it, just throw a square on there, check it, it's perfect. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the burr off both sides. You'll get them down around here where the chain jumps on and jumps off. So check that really good, make sure there's nothing there. See one little spot on this rail I just want to fix really quick. You go from the tip down on this one. It's beautiful. Just whip that burr off really quick. All right, so that bar is all brandy new, ready to go back to work, ready to cut nice and straight. I will hit it with the air really fast just to make sure there's no metal filings in there. And I'll put it back together, and that chain's in really good shape, so I am going to file that chain later. But that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, hit me up. I am going to have to take that machine screw out, get a bigger size, and retap that hole out a little bigger, because it's going to, well, I won't have to get it out. It's going to fall out the next time I use it. I'll guarantee you that. So I don't think I need you to watch me put her back together. Well, if you guys want to hang, it's 30 minutes. I don't think you need to watch me put it back together. I am going to check the rakers on that really quick because I have my raker rock on my grinder right now. So I'm going to check those really quick for depth. I want to pause you a second. I'll show you how to do it. And I'm going to grind, if those rakers need to come down at all, I'm going to grind them because the raker rock's on the grinder. It'll only take me 2 seconds and it saves me a bunch of filing. So hold on one sec. This is why I tell customers, now this is my saw, but you bring me a saw, please blow it out and clean it first, or you're going to pay for me to do it because you're going to get filthy. Hold on one sec. All right, so hopefully I won't bump this camera on the way by here. It's tight quarters in the shop here. Make sure you can see my vise. Yep. So what I'm going to do is I keep over by my grinder here, I keep a depth mic, little cheapo depth mic, but it works perfect for doing this. I always keep the battery out of it, or every time you pick it up, it'll be dead. Let's see which way. I gotta slide it in a certain way to get in there. And I'm going to zero my depth mic on something that's fairly flat, like the top of the vise right here. I'm going to actually, right next to you, I'm going to zero it on my table saw because I don't want this to be off. Okay, so right now I have it zeroed. Now, God, stuff everywhere. You can go ahead and I snap the chain in the vise. It needs to be sitting flat. And then I can go ahead off the top of 2 teeth. I'm going to push this down, stick it on the top of the drag, bring it down very slowly till it touches. So I'm only down 18 thousandths. So I'm going to verify, just do it again. That's a little bit high. Yeah, I'm getting 17 thousandths. So they do need to be ground. Yeah, they do need to be ground. So I'm going to shut this thing off. I'm going to throw it on my grinder. Make sure you guys can see the grinder. Yep. Turn you just a little bit. You're inside right now you're inside a shop vac hose and one of the easiest ways to do this is to go ahead and use a raker gauge right now and file one down and then paint that tooth and then set my grinder to that. So we can go ahead and just throw a raker gauge on this. I'm going to throw it to my softwood setting because I'm going to take them down a lot. This is working backwards for me, so it kind of stinks, but try and find a sharp spot of the file here. They had to come down a lot. Okay, so that one's down to the softwood setting. Let's see what that comes out at on my mic. Should be somewhere around 30, 35, I think. Oh, that tooth's tipping. Ooh, you little bugger. Come on, it's going to be tight. I still might be able to do it. Let me try it. $35 thousandths. Hopefully that comes into view. So that's perfect. You can, now you don't sit there and tell me you can't set your drags before you sharpen. I'm not going to take hardly anything off sharpening. So that's perfectly fine to set all these now at that same height, given the fact that your teeth are fairly consistent, and on this chain they are. If your teeth were off side to side, I would just grind it and then grind the drags. But we want to paint up this tooth so I know that I'm checking that drag, and I'm going to set my grinder to that drag. And since the Raker Rock's on here, I know that my setup's probably good right now. Okay. So I'm just going to bring this down. Okay, it's touching right where it is. Oh, just a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire it up. I'm going to come down until it just touches that tooth. Or you can go ahead and rotate it with your thumb so you don't take any more off that tooth. It's just touching there. And because there's going to be just a little bit of flex in this when I come down, it's just touching right there. So now I can go through quick and I can grind. And this rock, I'll show it to you at the end of this, is cut with a flat angle on it. You actually dress it that, I dressed it that way to angle my drags. I'm set over so it angles my drags too. This is way faster than wiping out a file. And the only reason I'm doing this right now is because the Raker Rock was on here. It makes it way faster to cut your rakers. And it makes them all the same. And like I said, if your teeth were way off, you wouldn't want to do this because then you'd be making the rakers all the same, but they're not the same to the teeth. And then I would just grind it, mic them, and make all the teeth the same. Then grind the rakers. They're pretty consistent too, actually. I'm not taking much off these. Taking these down to 35 thousandths, I'll be good for probably, unless I hit something, probably 3 or 4 sharpenings before I have any issues with it. And 35 thousandths is good for a, general firewood bucking saw. It's cutting mostly hardwood, but the saw's got plenty of power to cut hardwood at 35 thousandths. Trust me, even full comp, full chisel. All right, that one's done. I'll show you what this rock looks like. I'm going to take you out of the tripod and show you. very carefully so I don't shut the video off. So you see how it's got just a flat angle cut on it to be used at this angle to be able to angle off my drag slightly. See how there's slight angle on the top? Now they're all the same height. Exactly the same height, 35 thousandths, within a teeny little bit. But that's how you can grind your rakers really fast and not have to go through the file like an idiot, wearing out files and take a ton of time. So now I'll just put an edge on all these and it'll be ready to go. And then that screw is going to fall out and I am going to have to drill and tap that out, which is going to have to be done fairly quickly because bar oil is going to go everywhere when that screw finds its way out of there. They like to be leaky little bitches. Almost looks like, I don't know. There's another spot where it's maybe leaking here somewhere. In here somewhere. I'm going to check and see if that screw's tight. I don't think that doesn't go into, no, it doesn't go into the bar oil case. I think it's just residual from sitting around and heating up and getting cold and heating up and getting cold. You get the oil expanding and everything in there. So that's pretty much it. Hope you guys are having a great day. Hope your day is going better than mine now that that screw's stripped out. Let's see how bad it is. Oh yeah, it's bad. It's bad. I can show you. And I can turn it just with my fingers. It's bad. So that's no good. It's going to have to be fixed before I run. It's going to fall right out. Bar oil is going to go everywhere. And son of a bitch. Damn it. All right. Well, hope you guys are having a great day. And I am going to have to get myself ready to tap that hole out and put a different bolt in there, a different machine screw in there. So that's it. And hope you guys have a great Sunday.